Hey everyone, this is Kevin from English4exams.com. So you've clicked on this video to learn about the past simple. Well, that's great because in this video I've made everything nice and easy to understand. So the first thing we will look at is how do you create the past simple. We'll look at the structure, the grammar rules, things like that. And then we'll have a look at some example sentences so we can see then, looking at the grammar, looking at the sentences, you can start to see the patterns occur. And finally, we will have a look at questions together, sentences together, break them down again so that you can improve your past simple. So stick around, hope you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe if you found it useful. Let's begin. So as promised, let's begin by talking about the grammar. So how do you create the past simple? So the first point, we'll look at the positive form. So we create the past simple with subject, so I, you, we, they, plus verb, plus ed. So we add ed to the verb. For example, I worked for the bank. We talked about money. So as you can see on the screen, I've highlighted the ed part to make it really nice and easy for you to understand about the positive form. And for the negative part, we use subject, so I, you, we, she, he, it, plus did not or didn't if we want to contract it, plus verb. We do not add ed. We don't need to because we've got the didn't for negative. So, a few examples. I didn't work at the bank. We didn't talk about money. Now with questions, again, it's nice and easy. We use the word did. So for example, did you, so did plus subject plus verb in the present tense. Because when we use the word did, we already know it's in the past. So we don't need to use the verb in the past. For example, did you work in a bank? Did you talk about money? Not, did you worked in a bank? Or did you talked about money? So make sure that you use the verb in the present tense if it's a question and you're using did. And just a little tip about the question form, you can also include a question word before the did. So for example, question word plus did or didn't. So why did you work in a bank? Who did you talk to about money? So again, the verb is in the present tense because you've got the did. However, you can include the question word before did. So I'll put up some more examples, you can have a look at those and I will highlight the important parts. So let's have a look at the spelling because this is really important and I often see lots of mistakes made with this. So with verbs, regular verbs, all we need to do is add ed to the end of the word. For example, play, play, played. Just add ed. So regular verbs, nice and easy. However, we've also got irregular verbs and other rules, things like that. So with words that end in an e, for example, decide, we do not add ed to this. All we need to do is add d because the e is already there. So decide, decided, just add the d. Another rule would be verbs that end in a y. For example, try. You wouldn't say tried, tried, sorry. You would say tried because of the pronunciation. However, with the writing, it's T-R-I-E-D. So we changed the Y for an I. And the last rule, also to do with spelling, if the end of the word ends in a consonant, so it's a consonant, vowel, consonant pattern, we double the last consonant and then add ed. For example, stop. So stop is S-T-O-P. And the last three letters of that word, we've got T, consonant, O is a vowel, and P, consonant. So we double the last consonant, which is a P. So stopped would have two P's. So let's have a look at some examples here, and it'll be nice and easy for you to understand. And for the irregular verbs, these can be quite difficult. So what I'd recommend you do is have a look at the list, which I'll link in the description below, and also I'll put it on the next screen. And I'd like you to study this list because it's really important that you know these irregular verbs so you don't make the same mistakes. For example, drink. What is the past simple of drink? That's right, drank. So it wouldn't be drinked. You would not add the ed. You would change the word slightly. And each irregular verb has a different spelling, so there's no set rules for this. The important thing is that you have a look at the list, you try to remember them, and that you use them in person. So now we know how to use the past simple. When do we use it? So we've got two rules I'd like you to remember. So we use the past simple for single actions which happened in the past, when we want to say when it happened and also add extra information. For example, I played football yesterday at 8 o'clock. So we can be very, very precise with when it happened. And we can also use it to ask questions to find out when something happened. So, when did you first subscribe to my channel? That would be a past simple question. And the second rule about the past simple is that we can use it when we want to say that something happened repeatedly in the past. For example, when I lived in England, I rode my bike to school. So I rode my bike to school was 5 days a week. So this is a repeated action in the past. However, we can still use the past simple. So now we're going to go over to the question page where we'll have a look at some example questions, statements, work through them together, and then you can test your English to see if you have improved or if you've learned something new today. So let's begin. And welcome to the practice stage where we'll have a look at some questions together, work out the answers so that everything is nice and easy for you to understand. So let's get started. The first part we're going to look at is again positive forms. So let's have a look at the questions. So as you can see here, the first question, I play football yesterday. So how can we make this verb play into the past? That's right, add ed. So I played football yesterday. For number 2, you, and the verb here is try your best in the exam. Now going back to the rules, this verb here, it ends in a Y. So what do we need to do to change that, to make it into the past simple? That's right, we change the Y for an I and then add ed. So it would be you tried your best in the exam. For number 3, we, the verb is stop watching when the film got too scary. So with this one here, this is a tricky one. This is the most common mistake I find. So if you have a look at the last 3 letters, we've got a consonant, a vowel, a consonant. So what we need to do is double this last consonant. So in this case, we would double the P. So S-T-O-P-P-E-D. We stopped watching when the film got too scary. For number 4, they drink wine all night. And with this verb here, this is an example of an irregular verb. So what we need to do is study the chart at the end of today's lesson. I'll put an image of it, and we need to change one of these letters. So in this case, we changed the I to an A. We drank wine all night, because this is the past simple form of this verb. And the last one, number 5, he go to the shops yesterday. So here's another example of an irregular verb, or an irregular verb. So we need to change go to went. He went to the shops yesterday. So these are the positive forms. Let's continue. As you can see, the answers are here. So if you want to pause the video, check your answers, that's fine. The next point, negative forms. So let's have a look at these sentences. The first one, I not listen when I was at school. So with negative forms, we need to use the word didn't or did not. I didn't listen. So the verb stays in the same form. We do not change the verb because we add did or didn't. In this case, didn't, because it's negative. I didn't listen when I was at school. For number 2, you not get the job. So we add the word didn't because it's negative. You didn't or did not get the job. And the pattern continues. We not go to the park last weekend. We didn't go to the park last weekend. Number 4, they not come to the meeting. They didn't come to the meeting. And the last one, she didn't drink at the party. So with negative forms, it's nice and easy. You just add the word didn't and the verb in the normal tense. So again, these are the answers here. So you've got 2 options, didn't or did not. Now what is the difference between these 2? They both mean exactly the same thing. This is a shorter version of the word. Now when you're writing, a formal letter with anything formal, you should always write in the full version of the word. But if we're just talking to friends or writing even, you can shorten them down. Well, let's have a look at the next page. Question forms. So the first question here, did you to the meeting? Again, the same as before, we've got this word did. So we do not need to change the verb. Did you go to the meeting? Number 2, when did you and the verb play football? Again, this word did. When did you play? We do not need to change the verb. And finally, number 3, when did you watch this video? Exactly the same. Because of the word did, we do not need to change the verb form. And here, with answering questions with did, you can say yes I did or no I didn't. This is a short answer. So did you go to the meeting? Yes I did. Or no I didn't. With other questions, which are usually started with a question word, which is when, why, who, what. So if we have a look at the example, when did you play football? The response would be, I played, because verb ed, football last weekend. Number 3, why did you watch this video? I watched this video to improve my knowledge about the past simple. Well, let's have a look at the last page for today. We've got irregular verbs, and as promised, I've put an image of some of the irregular verbs. Now, if you check the link in the description below, I'll put up a full link of all the irregular verbs that you need to know so that you can print them out, you can study them, and it will be really useful. So let's have a look at the questions. Number 1, we eat a lot last night. So what we need to do is, if we have a look at this third column, this is the column that you need to study. This is the past simple column. So if we have a look for the verb eat in the first column here, can you find it? Here, eat. And we go over to the past tense, ate. So here we need to say we ate a lot last night. For number 2, I find my phone in my bag. Again, in the first column, let's have a look for find here. We go over to the past simple form, found. I found my phone in my bag. Number 3, I break my glasses last week. So let's have a look for break. Here it is. The third column, or the past tense, sorry, is broke. I broke my glasses last week. And the last one, number 4, he chose to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So here you can see the verb choose. Past tense, chose. It's just one O. So he chose to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Well, that's the end of today's video. If you found it useful, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, check out my other videos that I've been uploading on YouTube. Because on this channel, we have a look at business English, exam preparation, and also general English. So please make sure to check them out. And, of course, have a great day. Bye bye.